This is the Astro Suite Minimal Vault. I want to kind of give a quick overview of how it works because it's a little bit different than the default one, and I want to show you the benefits of it and why you might choose it. So to start, here we have kind of the home base view. If I open one of these notes, you can see it's a very stripped down, minimal, highly focused environment, which is kind of the purpose of this vault. If I press Control Alt Z or Command Alt Z on Mac, the left sidebar will pop out, and I can do the same thing with Control Alt X for the right sidebar. And this is how you'll want to basically navigate this. You'll want to use keyboard shortcuts to get from one place to another. If I hit Control T again, that'll take me back to this view. And what you'll want to open is the Astro Suite Vault Minimal Guide, because that will give you a bunch of the keyboard shortcuts that are important to keep in mind. Some are just default with Obsidian, and some are ones that I have added for convenience. But of course, you can change all of these to your particular preferences. If I hit Control M or Control T, which is essentially the same thing, they open this. You can see all the posts again. I'm actually going to hit Open Settings with Control Comma and show you the community plugins that we have added to this, apart from the default ones that you get already. So of course, there's all the ones that come with the Astro Suite, Astro Composer, default new tab page, etc. But there have been additions that we've done as well here. So Disable Tabs is actually a plugin that I made that does just that. It disables tabs. Hider is a plugin that accompanies Minimal, both made by Capano, as well as Minimal theme settings. These are all ways you can tweak your experience to have complete control over how much distraction or UI you want versus how much you want to avoid. So for example, if I close settings for a second and I open one of these posts, if I press Control Alt S, you're going to see that tab bar again up here. But there's no purpose for it because if I open a new tab with Control T, it's going to replace the tab. If I press Control W to close the tab, it's going to continually replace it with the home page view. And that's done on purpose. So now if I hide that tab row, now the bar is completely hidden and I don't have to think about how many tabs I have open because there are essentially no tabs at all. I can just pop from one blog post to the other, write if I like, and keep going from there. So there we have that. Now the other thing I want to call out is this top draggable bar. One of the things that's a problem with the default minimal theme is there's no way to click and drag the window very easily. But here I've added some custom CSS that does that, but it's platform specific. So on the right here you can see that these buttons from these bases would collide with these Windows OS buttons if they weren't moved. And if you're on Mac, obviously you'd have the same case for this. So if you open settings with Control Comma and then go to Appearance and scroll down, you can see there are different toggles depending on the OS that you're on. If I disable the Windows one, you can see over here there's a bit of crowding going on. And if I enable the Mac version, you can see over here there's a space left for those buttons on Mac. If you don't want any of those messed with, there's just a version that doesn't mess with any of the padding or the spacing and just gives you that draggable area to click and move your window around. So you have lots of options there, and obviously you can tweak it yourself to get it working exactly the way that you want. I encourage you to go to Hider, unhide the things that you want unhidden. Go through here, go through the minimal theme settings, and as a bonus, you can go in and search for style settings, and the style settings plugin also works here for further customization. So you can grab the accent color, set it to whatever you'd like. You can grab canvas dot patterns and adjust them. You have complete control to kind of make this exactly the way that you want. So anyway, the goal of this is for absolute focus, just writing down a stripped user interface, and it is extremely pleasing to use. So I hope you get a lot of value out of it. Thank you very much for watching this, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.